Invincible. Wow. Tell me you saw what happened. I read the book. All right. I knew it was coming, but it's different from knowing something's going to happen and actually seeing it. I know that sometimes people get attacked by wild animals. That happens. Sure it does. But if I saw it, I'd be like, ah! It'd be a different experience. I know what was supposed to happen, but seeing it was different. And then after seeing it, I'm like, oh, wow. And I start thinking about the entire run, the entire book. And I'm thinking of all of the things that happened, to this guy, Mark Grayson, in his life, with his family and friends. And I'm like, there is more to come. 2 more seasons, man. They're making 2 more seasons. They got greenlit for 2 more seasons. And I say yes to that. If you're watching it, you know this already, but just to let you know, there is crazy violence in this. It's not for the children. It's a cartoon, but it is not for the children. Stephen Yen is incredible in here. J.K. Simmons, stick him in any movie, superhero type movie, and he's going to be incredible also. Sandra Yo was good. She was very emotional. She was good. Zaza Beetz was good. I mean, everybody, all of them, every single person that was in here was incredible. Because you get drawn into it. You almost forget you're watching a cartoon, but I was watching a cartoon and I was pulled into it. It's a good story. It's an intriguing story. I've said for years, comic books have been around for so long, especially ones that have had multiple runs or extremely long runs, because the story is good. It's not just 2 guys standing in front of each other, punching each other in the face. That's not what it is. It's more than that. It's a story. It's intriguing. It's interesting. And this is interesting. I'll sit down and watch another 2 seasons. That show is good. This show is really, really, really good. Now comes the spoilers. We're going to do some spoilers. A little bit of spoilers. We're going to do some spoilers. But at the end, if you don't want to know, about the show or the season, skip to the end and you can see how I rate it. But right now, spoilers. So, Mark is essentially Superboy. Mark Grayson is essentially Superboy, and his father, Nolan, is essentially Superman. He's Omni-Man, and Mark is Invincible. Hence the name of the show. The show is about the son primarily, but his father, again, would be like their planet's Superman. Every major comic book has their version of Superman, but this particular one is not a good guy. He's not what he seems to be. If you've seen the first episode, then you know that, because he eliminates their version of the Justice League. He wipes them out. Now, he takes a beating too. They toss him a beating, but he kills them. Would you rather take a beating or be beaten to death? So, yeah. So he kills the premier superheroes. And he tells his son not to join any teams, don't get with no teams. He doesn't want him building any type of alliances with the superpowered people, because he's eventually going to have to kill them all. He is, in case you didn't know, he is a Viltrumite. He comes from another planet, and what they do is, with their Superman-like powers, they send one guy to a planet. They're essentially immortal. So they give him 50 years, 100 years, 200 years to weaken the planet so that they can take it over. One Superman on a planet is enough to weaken a planet. It kind of reminded me of Dragon Ball Z, how they would send one person from the planet Vegeta out, or 2, and they would conquer a world. Same kind of thing. They send one guy out, 2 guys out, whatever, get ready, get that planet ready for us to march in and conquer it. And just one guy, he could do it. But he fell in love. So he fell in love with Debbie, which was Sandra Yo. Mark's mom. So he's been kind of slacking. He doesn't really want to take over the world. He wants to, but he's been slacking. And one day he wakes up and is like, time to get to that whole world taking over thing. So everybody who thought that he was a superhero, because he's been portraying himself as a superhero, suddenly finds out that this dude is a nut. One of the people that he killed, sort of, was a guy called the Immortal. And the Immortal lives up to his name. He simply will not die. If you cut his head off and then you put his head back with his body, he'll come back. He'll come back to life. Pop. Just like that. So he kills the Immortal and the rest of the team. Their version of the Justice League. But the Immortal's body gets put back together and he comes back to life. And he is nearly as strong and as vulnerable as Omni-Man. Not really, but sort of. So he comes back and he gives him a pretty good fight. Pretty good fight. And even after losing the fight and getting a fist punched through his body, he still shoves his fingers in Omni-Man's eyes. I'm thinking, whoever wrote this has actually probably been in a real fight, because that stuff happens. So he shoves his fingers in his eyes and he's like, cranking it, trying to rip his eyes out, I guess. And he still dies, though, a second time, because Omni-Man rips him into two separate pieces. So Mark now knows that his father is a crazed lunatic, and his father offers him, hey man, join me, like Luke. Join the dark side of the Force. So Invincible does not wish to do that. He doesn't want to. In fact, he tries to fight his father. Gives it a good shot at trying to fight his father. But with Viltrumites, the longer you live, the more powerful you become. You just grow stronger through life. So we're on Earth, a young, strong guy is stronger than an old, strong guy, usually, because of the power of youth. Youth is wasted on the young, but the power of youth on Earth makes you stronger. An older person in Viltrum is stronger. The older you get, the more powerful you become, and the slower you age. So, essentially, their elderly are the most powerful. Mark's father's around middle age, so he's good strength for Viltrum, but there are some that are stronger, and they are gonna get to that. So he's way stronger than his kid. His kid's had his powers for a few months. He's had his power for maybe 1,000 years or more. He hints that he may be really old, but so he's way powerful. So Invincible is outclassed as far as power goes, so he can't deal with it. So he catches a beating. As far as comic book, movie, cartoons go, this is probably the worst beating I've ever seen anybody take. He gets the business, and it's terrible. It's horrible because he's beating this kid, and he even tells him, hey, I'm mortal, man. You don't think I could just beat you to death in 17 years, make another one? I'll wait another 17 years. I'll just make another one. And I'm thinking, wow, he's going to kill his kid and just get another woman pregnant and make another kid. Just have another baby. Try that one again. So there's more to that story than the whole thing. He can't kill his son. He can't do it. So he leaves Earth, flies off into space. And that's essentially where it ends. Invincible has been a fairly good hero on Earth. So they want him to step up and be the premier hero on Earth. There's a lot of moving parts, man. There's robot, might be crazy or maybe evil. The Mauler twins have a plan brewing. Battle Beast is out in space slaughtering people. Alan the alien asked Mark, Invincible, to join the coalition of planets or whatever they're called and be one of their guys. So I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. So they've got a lot to work with. They haven't even touched a lot of stuff yet from the book. But just what they've got so far, they could do 2 seasons on just what they got so far. They still have to introduce a lot more to the story. So I am ready for it. I'm ready for it. But I would give Invincible and the season so far 9 bags of popcorn. Yep, it was that good. 9 bags of popcorn. The art was incredible. The acting was incredible. They didn't phone it in. The story was great. It was compelling. The fight scenes were epic. If this were a movie, it'd make $1 billion. A full action on movie, but it's a cartoon. So, make sure you see it on Amazon Prime, man. It's good. Real good. But that's what I think. More importantly, what do you think? Now that we've had a chance to talk about this, let's talk some more in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.